Hello and welcome to Brave Tarot. Today's reading is for somebody who's been questioning, what is the point of the phase I'm going through? I'm not seeing any signs for why this is beneficial for me. I don't understand what I'm being tested with. It feels like spirit or God has disappeared from the frame and you cannot feel any sense of guidance around you, almost like you're being suffocated. And today I'm going to explore what's coming up around why that might be happening, and how in a strange way this might actually be indication that God is there in a more intense way than before. So if this reading is for you, you may be in a place of extreme restriction and limitation, like you're stuck in a certain location, you don't have money to get out, you're trapped in a job, you're trapped in a situation of some sort. It feels like one by one you've had all of the good opportunities taken away from you, as if you're being tested with some kind of abstinence from the usual pleasures of life, or most importantly, abstinence from distractions. So what might feel like everything going wrong every time you try to move forward and get back to even a neutral baseline of, say, material pleasure or connection or belonging, you get pushed back out into these weird tests. Like, say, every time you try to apply for a job, you lose it. Or you keep having new ideas of what you should be doing with yourself, and you try it and it doesn't work out, or it gets rejected pretty much immediately. The most significant thing I'm seeing is that there's been no sign of confirmation for you. And in the past, you've made your choices from a place of looking for certainty from spirit, or even from your own intuition, that you're on the right path. And now what's happening is you're being put through what looks like a withdrawal. It's very similar to a drug addiction withdrawal. Say you want to save somebody who's got a drug addiction, and you take the access to drugs away from them and put them in a natural environment through a program of rehabilitation. At the beginning of that program, they will feel like they're dying. They will squirm. They will be almost, it's like a energetic tantrum where the body is rejecting what's actually good for it. And this is what I'm seeing as the situation you're in right now. It's almost like a baby in a cot being trained. I forget what they call that type of training, where you let the baby cry out. I'm not suggesting that's good for, I don't know if that's good for the baby or not, but that is the thing I'm seeing right now. It's like God is putting you through this test where he's taking away every option that didn't come from the most true internal signal from within. And I oddly feel some intense emotion coming up as I say that. It feels to be very true. Like that is the truest aspect of the situation you're in. And there's some grief around it, because what this indicates is that you've orchestrated your life up until now to appease an external force, whether that is spirit or God being the ultimate authority, whether it's the people around you, or the system of society where you thought you had to satisfy or please a vague idea of what is required of you in life. It feels that you've driven your choices from that compass for so long that you don't even know what it feels like to make a true choice from within. The way I keep seeing it is that there's a group of people who are standing up, listening to somebody else speak, and after a while, they start to feel like they want to sit down, and the brave people just sit down, even if it looks rude or it's not appropriate to do. And you're the last person standing because you have an idea that it would be inappropriate for you to sit down and relax, and it would make the other people feel bad or something. Weird example, but it's the feeling behind this. It's like if there was no consequence, would you lie in bed all day? Maybe your answer is yes. And maybe you need to do that for 5 days until you have a true instinctual natural impulse to get up and do something particular. And this situation is starving you of those false impulses. And you might not even feel this happening. It feels to be happening slowly and in the background under the surface. And it might not be something that fully registers to you, maybe ever, because it's such a deep switching over of the power. It feels like a presidency is being passed from one person to another. And in you, that is your instinct is being passed on from being guided by external confirmation to being guided by an internal locus. And so it may not ever feel different for you, but biologically, that is what's happening right now. And it's happening really subtly and really slowly in this painful experience of being stripped. Something a friend said to me the other day has stuck with me so strongly because I've never ever heard anyone in the spiritual space speak about this. But my friend said to me, you know that you are 100% the world and 100% not the world. I'll explain what that means. When you start to live so hand in hand with spirituality and with guidance, and if you're here and you're listening to a message like this, you are unequivocally one of these people, where you start to see your environment as a complete reflection of you, which is what you're taught in the law of attraction, that your outer world is just a mirror of your inner world, or a delayed mirror. And I'm always talking about that on this channel as well. And that causes you to believe that you and the world are an enmeshed blob, and there is no distinction between you and the mirror. But because this is a duality-based system we live in, that fact can be completely true, but that makes up 50% of the reality, which is that because of the forms and matter and the nature of creation needing differentiation, you are 100% not the world. You are 100% yourself. And in the mainstream society, people only believe that part. And as you start to delve into spirituality, you start to reject that part, the idea of a self or an ego or separation, and you start to believe that you are only 100% one with everything. But it's not true. It's equally both. Completely down the middle, equally both. And so it's time for you to pick that back up and find a healthy relationship with your ego. It's time for you to differentiate and to decide what the spirit of you wants to become without anybody else's counsel. And confronting that may require confronting a sense of grief as well, because of all the time that has passed where you live for other people or you live for a reward. When the reward is taken away, what are you left with? What do you choose to create just because it's fun? And if you don't feel like doing anything, it's very important that you don't deny that signal. So if you want to rest and you don't want to go to the gym today, honor that. Honor that until the impulse feels aligned to go. And allow this overwhelm to exhaust itself. Try not to reject it. Try not to panic at the experience. Just allow it to unfold. And realize that you are being observed by the world. Because the world wants you to choose for yourself now who you are and who you want to be. And that might also mean closing a lot of doors behind you that don't feel like you anymore. If you're overwhelmed by choice and uncertainty, you might be avoiding what gets lost when you make that choice, what has to be denied in order for you to make a clear, solid decision about who you want to be and where you want to go in this life. You have to let go of certain potentials and ideas and dreams about where you thought you were headed or options you were keeping open. And you have to decide to commit to one. And if the realm itself isn't giving you clear correspondence, don't take that as a sign that the path is not the correct choice. The lack of correspondence is the point. It's the realm saying to you now that it's not going to give you any confirmation because it must come from within. So the lack of confirmation will be confirmation in itself when you make the right decision. When you make a decision that feels real enough and strong enough, you'll actually know it in yourself, and you might even feel empowered by the fact that you're not being given signs from the universe to follow through with it. You might find a weird thrill in being deterred by the universe. Because this is about cultivating your force and carving your path and realizing that you are a God as well. So I'm going to leave it there. If you would like to book a one-to-one reading, I have 15, 45-minute and megalithic readings available. They're all in the description box below. Check it out. Subscribe to the channel. Be brave, and I'll see you in the next reading.